The sky is pale, the streets are wide, and rows of apartment blocks stand almost identical under soft light. Life here does not begin with noise or rush. It begins with routine. Inside a small apartment, a kettle warms on the stove. The radio speaks in a calm, measured voice. For most people, living in the Soviet Union was not constant drama. It was structured, repetitive, and steady. It is found in kitchens, in long lines, in shared spaces, and in the rhythm of ordinary days. Most families lived in modest apartments, often in large concrete buildings called panel houses. Space was limited. Sometimes multiple generations shared a small flat. Privacy was thin, walls were thinner. Yet these homes were warm with conversation and routine. Meals were simple bread, soup, potatoes, cabbage. Tea was constant. Evenings were often spent reading, listening to music, or watching state television. Outside, they followed expectations carefully. Employment was guaranteed by the state. Factories, offices, schools, and farms provided steady jobs. Wages were modest, but unemployment was rare. The workday followed a strict schedule. Tasks were repetitive, promotions slow. Loyalty and reliability mattered deeply. For many, this created stability. You knew where you would be tomorrow. You knew your role. At the same time, personal ambition had limits. Creativity and independence often had to fit within state guidelines. One of the realities of Soviet life was scarcity. People learned to plan carefully and accept uncertainty about what would be available. When special items appeared, it felt like a small celebration. Neighbors often helped each other quietly, exchanging goods or information about where supplies had arrived. The government controlled newspapers, television, and radio. Open criticism of the system could lead to serious consequences. As a result, many people learned to separate public speech from private conversation. In public, words were cautious. At home, discussions were more open but still careful. This created a culture of subtle understanding. People read between the lines. Humor and irony became quiet tools for coping. Despite limitations, strong communities formed. Neighbors knew one another well. Children played together in shared courtyards. Public celebrations and holidays brought crowds together with music and flags. Life moved slowly. Seasons shaped the mood-long snowy winters, bright summer evenings that seemed to last forever. Without constant advertising or digital distraction, time felt different. Evenings were quieter. Conversations lasted longer. The truth about living in the Soviet Union is not simple. It was neither constant fear nor perfect equality. For most ordinary citizens, it was a life of structure, modest comfort, limited choice, and deep routine. There was security in employment and housing. There was frustration in shortages and restrictions. Tomorrow will look much like today. In that repetition, many people found a steady rhythm. Life was not dramatic every hour. It was calm, controlled, and predictable. And in that quiet predictability, sleep often came easily.